Because the wood has been wet for years, I removed the large loose parts and applied primer to let the wood dry a bit more and survive the winter. Now I will strip these parts completely and grind out the remaining wood rot. The seam between the two beams has been open for a long time, allowing a lot of moisture to penetrate. It should not be sealed with epoxy. Instead, a high-quality sealant must be used to close it. So for now, I am removing that middle section entirely and will seal it again later. I measure the moisture content beforehand. It must be a maximum of 18% or lower, otherwise you cannot apply the repair paste. However, you can already grind out everything. Make sure you perform the grinding out properly. Sometimes parts may be dry but already decayed, so make sure you really grind out to the healthy wood. I deliberately show you a lot of footage of the grinding process because these actions are crucial. You will need a die grinder for this, as it provides the required RPM. In the description, I have inserted a link to a die grinder that is very suitable for these types of tasks. You also don't need an expensive moisture meter like the one I have. Mine costs well over 200 euros. In the description, I've included a much more affordable alternative that is equivalent to another moisture meter I also own. However, please note that by using the provided links, I earn a small commission through Amazon, helping me continue to create new videos for you. You cannot remove the iron screw in there. It has some rust, so try to clean it as much as possible, but you can leave this screw in place. This beam is not a load-bearing beam, but merely a decorative beam. When repairing wood rot, never use polyester putty. It may seem like a good solution and often very cheap, but polyester putty is hygroscopic. This means it attracts moisture, which can lead to wood rot recurrence. Therefore, always opt for epoxy paste. If you find these tips helpful, please give me as many thumbs up as possible. It can greatly support me. After grinding out all the wood rot and blowing away all the dust, we can proceed to the next step. When you are about to glue pieces of wood, you need to remove more from the beam. The beam still has a good connection to the iron, and the customer preferred to preserve this as much as possible. In consultation with the manufacturer of the epoxy paste, I received confirmation that a significant volume of paste can be applied. Therefore, I chose to fill the holes completely with the paste. I covered the beam so that it can dry overnight. Afterward, I measured the moisture percentage in multiple places, and it was well below 18%. This means we can apply the repair paste. I will start with priming. For this, I use Renofix Green mixed in a 1-to-1 ratio. Once well mixed, you can apply the primer to the wood. As you can see, these are large holes. Therefore, you should not perform the wood rot repair in direct sunlight due to the significant heat generated by the large mass of the paste. To keep my putty knives handy, I put them in a box. For this repair, I am using Renofix Green. Make sure to mix the paste very well until it has a uniform color. Once the paste is fully mixed, you can start applying it. First, apply a thin layer to ensure good adhesion. This step is often referred to as burning in. After the burn-in, I apply the paste in layers. This allows me to press the paste in well and try to eliminate all the air. As you can see, the paste resembles butter, stands firm, and is not sticky, making it much easier to shape. After applying the paste, you can immediately clean the putty knives. I now remove the sharp edges of the Renofix paste with a sharp scraper to make sanding easier later. I also round the edges a bit. I removed the middle section because it was a polyester putty. I replaced it with a piece of wood to create a backrest for the sealant. Then I filled it completely with Soudal's TS glazing sealant. I left the bottom of the lath and beams open so that any moisture can always ventilate there. I completely sealed the front and top of the beams to prevent moisture from entering. Once the sealant is dry, you can paint the beams. If you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more learning and money-saving tips. I painted the beams with a moisture-permeable paint. This means that any moisture can still escape, but it cannot penetrate inward. This allows the beam more time to thoroughly dry, in case there is still some moisture present. I'll come back in a year, sand the beam, and paint it with a high-gloss paint. However, a moisture-permeable paint has the drawback of losing its gloss after about 6 months. That's why it's handy to paint it again later with a high-gloss paint. In the middle of the screen, you'll find another video about wood rot, where I'll teach you a very useful trick that you can apply during your work when dealing with wood rot in your window frames. Subscribe to my channel quickly, give me another thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.